why dating feels like a humiliation ritual. I've seen a lot of videos based on this subject alone, and a lot of it misses the point, right? Because, in a sense, if you think about it, men are supposed to pursue women, and men are supposed to give, provide, protect, all that good stuff. But they're turning it into a gender war where it's give, and no take. And so we're missing the human aspect of this. We're missing the virtue of this whole dilemma. And of course, every answer is found in the Bible. And that's why nobody has answered this topic correctly, because they haven't looked in the one place where they can find the answer, the Bible. Because this problem has happened before in society, and it'll happen again, and the Bible will still have the answer, because the Bible is the Word of God. So let's read Exodus 32:31. This is Moses speaking. Oh, what a great sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of gold. He's talking about a nation that strayed away from God, and they replaced God with a statue of gold. And now let's look at the dating dynamic, and let's compare it to this verse right here. So the dating dynamic here, we can't talk dating dynamics without the rise of social media, because that's really where this problem became hard. It became an actual hard-hitting issue in society, right? Everything became hyper-competitive. The attractive people started getting more attention. The less attractive people started getting more desperate, and it became a race to the bottom for the attention of a girl, right? And it all started because of social media, right? We have a huge desperation of men just trying to get a snippet of attention from women. And because of that, women's ego gets inflated, right? Just like if you kept on getting compliments every day, your ego would get inflated. We're all human here. Let's not cope. If we get positive reaffirmation, then we'll think positively of it. If we get negative reaffirmation, we'll have negative thoughts of it, right? This is why insecurities happen. And lastly, in terms of dating dynamics, let's talk about what worship is and what sacrifice is according to the Bible. According to the Bible, right, you can read it. Worship is what you want to do to God. So you want to give to God. You want to live by His word because He gave you life. You want to be a good person. You want to sing to God. You want to play music to God. You want to give money to God. Sacrifice, however, is anything that costs you, right? So I don't know if you know the story, but Abraham was going to sacrifice his kid. They called it a sacrifice. He didn't want to give away his son, yet he had to because the Lord told him to. That is a sacrifice. You're doing it even though it costs you something. And let's look at dating dynamics here. We're treating women like God. We're treating women like we owe them a sacrifice. We're treating women like they deserve our worship. We are made women into our idols, right? Just like on the verse of Exodus, what a sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of gold. If you replace gold with women, it applies to our society now. What a great sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of women. And that's all this really comes down to, is women are now our new gods. And that's why this seems so humiliating. It seems like a humiliation ritual because we have to give. We have to do. Except it is not for an all-loving God. It is not for a God that gives us in reward proportionally. It is not on purity. It is not based on all good, all love. That's why it feels wrong. So when you do it for God, you feel more virtuous, you feel more righteous, you feel more holy. When you do it for a woman, you get this yucky, corrupt sensation, right? And if you don't believe that women are the idols nowadays, just think, even these red pillars, they're doing it for girls. They can't trick you into it. They need this validation of girls. That's why they're monetizing all this young male population into thinking this is how you get girls, right? Because all they're based on is how to get women. Women is their idol. And if you don't believe me, just look at all they're doing. They're giving them their time. Every attention, every single video, every topic It is about women. Money. They'll gain money. They'll gain respect. They'll do all of this just for the validation of women. Some people even give what they don't have. Don't even get me started on OnlyFans. That's a whole career now because people give money. They're either worshiping, right? They're giving money that they have, or they're sacrificing. They're giving money that they're desperately trying to earn just for the validation of women. And even their whole persona, even this kind of alpha dynamic, even this whole, I need to be a macho person just to get a woman. They're changing their whole character because women is their God. And it's humiliating because they're not God, right? You don't become a better person by pursuing a woman. You don't become more righteous. You don't become more holy. You don't become praiseworthy. You don't have peace. You don't have love. You don't have forbearance. You don't have temperance, right? This is why in this dating dynamic, it is humiliating because you become so enamored with girls that women are now your idol. And nobody talks about this. Even the people who kind of have this sensation of they're over women, but they're giving you advice, even then, they don't realize that by making women a priority, they're making them their idol. And by making them their idol, this whole thing gets twisted into a humiliation ritual, right? Because think, if a boyfriend gives a girlfriend flowers, that's amazing. That's cool. That's respectable, right? That's mutual. However, now if we're pursuing girls and we give one girl flowers trying to get her attention and we give another girl flowers trying to get her attention, it becomes humiliating because we're not doing that out of pure love. We're not doing that out of, something that we want to do. We're doing it out of attention. So women are now the idol, right? And let's just talk about how all this become corrupted. Let's talk about what sin is in general, right? Sin in general is when you're separated from God. And of course, women aren't God. You're not God. Whenever you're doing something that's not based for God, it becomes corrupt. It becomes humiliating, right? This is why pursuing women has become a humiliation ritual, because their ego is so inflated that they think they're God, or we're so desperate that we're worshiping them like they're God. And you should really just reflect on yourself, reflect on what you want in life, and think, is this worth trading in somebody that gives you life, gives you love, gives you unconditional everything for a woman? And I'm not better than you guys. I've fallen for this trap too. I've spent money that I didn't have. I've taken time, right? I've even called off work just to hang out with a girl. I get it, guys. I do. It's just think. Make God a priority, not women. Hopefully this gives you guys some reflection. If you don't believe in God or you don't believe in any of this, then I urge you, just give the Bible a try. Give it a read. I always had second doubts of it, but the more and more I study, the more and more I realize that every answer was in the Bible. And it's hard to ignore that God is real.